Oh my goodness, the Championship final day did not disappoint. In today's video, we're just going to unpack what has just happened in the Championship for the top 6 race. The full episode of the Championship roundup will be coming out tomorrow, where we'll go over each game individually and we'll have a bit of a deeper dive into every match. But I had to get a bit of an instant reaction out today because the Championship didn't disappoint, and the race for the top 6, oh my god, it went right down to the wire as all of us expected it to, but I'm not sure anyone expected the drama that unfolded towards the end there. So first of all, congratulations to Luton, Middlesbrough, Coventry and Sunderland for sneaking in there towards the end, but those are the 4 sides who will be competing to go up to the Premier League via the playoffs, and I have to say we've got some absolutely brilliant matchups coming up in the playoff semi-finals now. So I had predicted how I saw the playoffs shaping up in the last video, and I actually had it as it was. I had Luton, Middlesbrough, Coventry and Millwall making it in there. Didn't give that much of a chance for the teams outside, as I really thought the teams within it who had their own destiny within their hands were going to get the job done, and for a lot of the afternoon it seemed like that would be the case. Now in the terms of Coventry, they went up against Middlesbrough. They knew that a point would have been enough for them in that game, and in the end they did get that point, a 1-1 draw. What's fascinating about that clash is that was a dress rehearsal for the playoff semi-final. It will be those 2 sides coming up against each other, and we did mention that in the preview, but the real interest and drama about the final day was with that 6th spot, and oh my god, what bonkers action we had unfolding in the end. Millwall fans, I'd like to get some instant reaction from you down below. It was your place to lose in the end, and for the vast majority of the afternoon it seemed like Millwall had done enough to go ahead and hold on to that spot. Tough game against the Rovers side, who, while their form hadn't been great coming into the final weekend, their performances had gradually started to get better as the season went along. But the point in which Millwall were 3-1 up, I think everyone thought that it was dead and buried really. You could certainly see from me being at Deepdale, the atmosphere in the Sunderland end had died down a little bit, as it really, everyone thought that, okay, that's it, done for the playoffs. But Blackburn really were the team who sparked all of this into action with an absolutely ridiculous comeback. Ultimately, Rovers just missed out on the top 6 due to goal difference, but they were committed to putting in a spirited performance on the final day, and boy did they get that. And I'm sure that Sunderland fans will be happy to buy a Blackburn fan a pint after that dramatic comeback. I've just got back from Deepdale though, and in terms of Sunderland and the team that I've just seen, I have to say fully deserving of a playoff spot. Really impressive stuff from Sunderland. It was an interesting game at Deepdale because up until Diallo scored the opening goal, it was a fairly even match where, a bit of a basketball game. Both sides had really good chances to take the lead, but both goalkeepers were on top form. But from the moment Sunderland got that first goal, they just clicked into a whole new gear, and Preston couldn't live with that. It wasn't too long after they scored that first goal that the Olays were coming out from the away end, and to be honest, they were taking the mick towards the end. They were just playing it around us like we weren't there. We were chasing shadows, and Sunderland fully deserving of the win in the end. Diallo, we thought it might have been his final game in a Sunderland shirt. That won't be the case now because of the upcoming playoffs, but oh my god. Arguably the best goal I've seen at Deepdale this season. We've seen Diallo do it a few times this year, but whenever he has a little bit of space outside the box, shifts it onto his left foot, and it was a strike and a half from him to get past Woodman, who had been on top form up until that point. Sunderland's other goals really well worked. They could have had more than the 3 they scored in the end, and they were playing it through us at will really. Of course, West Brom were also in the playoff race coming into this weekend. They needed a few results to go their way and needed to beat Swansea. In the end, they didn't get that done, so they were put out of the equation. But in terms of what this means for the actual top 6 and the matchups that we now have coming up, it's an absolutely fascinating one. Middlesbrough against Coventry, and I'd be interested to hear from both Middlesbrough and Coventry fans whether you feel more or less confident after how that match has just gone. Whether you see that as a positive, whether you think you can take the other team over 2 legs, or you're a little bit nervous for that one. Fascinating match coming into it, I have to say. But the real interest for me comes with that Luton against Sunderland match, because not only is it 2 real underdogs in terms of, I don't think many people had either Luton or Sunderland pinned in the top 6, before a ball had been kicked, but it's the two form teams in the league coming up against each other. Luton, unbeaten in their last 14 matches, going up against Sunderland, unbeaten in their last 9 matches. So a clash of the two form sides in the table, and also a real clash of styles as well, with how direct Luton can be with the front two of Morris and Adebayo. And the contrast to that, the way Sunderland like to play it around you and the threats they have from different areas of the pitch. With Sunderland, it's very much about building up the play. Even today at Deepdale, Geldhart was mostly playing as a little bit of a withdrawn striker, dropping in as a little bit of a false 9, and their main attacking outlets come from those wide plays. You know, Roberts linking up with Diallo on the right-hand side, Clark causing all sorts of problems from the left as well. So that is a game of two legs, which I'm really struggling to call, to be honest, and really could go either way with the momentum that Sunderland have picked up recently. But guys, there we have it, just a bit of an instant reaction video to the playoffs and how it unfolded on the final day. Tomorrow I'll have a few more thoughts on the championship round where we'll dissect each game in a little bit more detail and go into how each team's season have been. But right now I want to know from you, who is your favourite for the playoffs? Is it Luton, Sunderland, Middlesbrough or Coventry? I can't wait for all 4 sides to go ahead and battle it out. Leave your comments down below. If you went on to enjoy, do leave a like and stick around and subscribe for some regular championship content. Apart from that guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you all in the next one.